Hey, everybody! Today I will tell you about a teen detective movie with unexpected plot twists. I'm waiting for your likes and comments about the movie. The name of the movie is at the end of the clip. Let's get started. In the opening shots of the movie, FBI Regional Director James Garner gives details of the ongoing investigation. The broadcast of his story about solving one of the criminals, Busciotti, is watched with interest by one of the visitors of the bar. FBI agent Cantrell broke into Busciotti's home, but resisted and paid the price. However, the man still managed to flush a flash drive with information about the accomplices down the toilet. In the following shots, James Garner flies with his wife on a helicopter to visit his daughter. But suddenly the heroes begin to lose altitude. The action moves forward 6 months to the island of Nantucket. We get to a noisy teenage party, which is attended by an inebriated Tilly. Felicity informs Lou that since the tragedy with her parents, the girl has been drinking every day. Unexpectedly, Nico joins the party. The guy whispered together with Lou about some contraband, and then he met Tilly and her friend. Suddenly the girl feels ill, and Nico offers her a ride home. In the car, Tilly says that she is ashamed of what happened, but the hero calms her down and says that everything is all right. Suddenly, the girl asks to stop the car, deciding to go swimming. Nico refuses to join in because he can't swim. The heroes get to Tilly's house safely, and she leaves the guy her number. Once inside, Tilly has an argument with her Aunt Jenny, who tries to control her. The friend comforts the woman, who is very worried about her niece, because it can be very difficult to get over the loss. The next morning, Agent Cantrell arrives at the place where the Garners flew out from. The man believes that what happened is not just an accident. Meanwhile, Nico stops by to pick up Tilly, and is introduced to Aunt Jenny. The boy tells her that he was born in Albania and now works in a taxicab to save up for college. The couple decides to go for a bike ride so Nico can get to know the island better. The cute conversation is interrupted by an irritated cyclist who rides between the heroes, causing Tilly to fall. Nico tries to catch up with the offender and shouts a strong word in Albanian after him. Meanwhile, Cantrell does find what he was looking for on the security cameras and reports it to Agent Hunley. The man is worried that Tilly is now in danger. The girl calmly gets home and kisses Nico, a little embarrassed. A suspicious man named Marco, whom Cantrell suspects of massacring the Garners, arrives on the island. He is happily greeted on shore by Nico. Tilly and Chris go to the beach for a swim and discuss the hero. Meanwhile, Agent Cantrell arrives on the island. We learn that Marco is Nico's brother, and he has a strong hatred for FBI agents, because they killed his father. After a while, the guy meets Tilly again, and learns about the tragedy with her parents. Their conversation is interrupted by the appearance of Lou, who takes his goods from Nico, and then Felicity also appears. Meanwhile, Agent Cantrell visits the Garners' final resting place, and watches Jenny in church celebrating a year of sober living. A man finds her after the sermon, and informs her that because of the Busciotti case, James represented the FBI on television, and that's why the criminals messed up his airplane. A frightened Jenny asks him to send her a photo of the suspect, and promises to call if help is needed. Tilly and Nico spend time together on the beach. Agent Cantrell is watching this, as well as the hero's brother. Marco Nico decides to take the girl to a bar, which is owned by a friend of her aunt named Chris. The hero introduces Tilly to his friends, but the girl looks a little embarrassed. Almost all the guys admire the appearance of Nico's companion. The heroes are found by Chris, and take away Tilly's drinks, and at the same time socializing with her boyfriend. When the woman leaves, the girl takes her drink away from Nico and continues to have fun. Suddenly, Chris surprises the couple and sings a touching song in their honor. A laughing Nico says that they'll definitely have to dance now, even though he's not very good at it. During the dance, Tilly confesses that she feels really good with her boyfriend, and for the first time since the tragedy, she feels alive again, not broken. Agent Cantrell is watching the couple's conversation again, for he is concerned that Tilly is in even more danger in such a crowded place. In the bar sits Marco, who watches his brother with disdain and anger as he dances sweetly with their main enemy. Jenny anxiously awaits her niece's return, and finally, it happens. The girl gets a ride from Nico, and gives her an adorable puppy. Tilly sadly remembers that her aunt does not like dogs, and then the guy offers to keep him for the time being. Nico says goodbye to his lover and drives away, unaware that Cantrell has decided to follow him closely. When Tilly enters the house, her aunt tells her the truth about the tragedy with her parents and shows her a photo of the suspect, asking the girl to be very careful. Nico makes it to his brother's ship, where Marco is having fun with a not-so-decent girl named Rebecca, whom he met in a bar. Marco chases her away almost immediately and suggests the hero have a serious talk. Rebecca walks off the dock and is immediately caught by Cantrell. He asks the girl not to be afraid, but to tell him who is on the ship. Rebecca confirms that the man from the photo is there, and besides him a guy named Nico. Having learned everything he needed to know, Cantrell lets the girl go and asks her not to tell anyone about their conversation, or his case will be ruined. Rebecca promises not to say a word and leaves the wharf. Meanwhile, Marco pours his brother a drink while discreetly reloading his gun. The man stealthily strikes up a conversation with Nico about the girl he was with on the beach and at the club. Marco claims that the boy is just a toy for her. Nico, under pressure, says that Tilly means nothing to him. Satisfied with this answer, Marco reminds him that during the celebration, his brother will need to bring fireworks for the next case. The hero agrees and leaves to get some rest. Meanwhile, a frustrated Tilly revisits the latest tape of her parents. Aunt Jenny comforts the girl, who apologizes for her behavior. At this time, Cantrell breaks into Marco's ship and tries to apprehend him. However, the criminal is not ready to just give up, and a fight ensues between the men. At first, Cantrell has a clear advantage, but the course of the battle suddenly changes, not in his favor. The FBI agent still manages to gain the upper hand over Marco, and he immobilizes the criminal. It turns out that the same Busciotti is his father. That's why, in the past, criminals have decided to take unconditioned revenge on FBI Regional Director Garner. Angry Cantrell says that the subway bombing, which was organized by Busciotti, caused the passing of his sister, and Garner has always been his friend. The agent finds a flash drive in computer and remembers that Busciotti had the exact same one. However, when Cantrell decides to pull it out, there is an explosion. The next morning, Nico arrives at his brother's yacht and finds him tied up. Having freed Marco, the hero insists on a visit to the hospital, but the wounded criminal only waves away. The brother shows Nico 2 bags containing special fireworks for Americans and asks him to take them to the car. The hero brings Marco to Aunt Jenny's clinic and asks her to help. When Nico leaves, the woman recognizes the criminal. Jenny tries to send a message to Cantrell, but Marco attacks her from behind. A fierce battle ensues between the heroes, with the goal of survival. Meanwhile, Nico communicates with a crying Tilly and promises to come soon. Entering the clinic, he sees Jenny and asks her to spare his brother. Marco takes advantage of this and severely wounds the woman. Nico is horrified and says that she is innocent. Marco insists that they urgently need to return to the ship for the money, ignoring his brother's requests to take him and the woman to the hospital. Before leaving, Nico takes Jenny's cell phone. Tilly is very nervous and spends time with Felicity. Suddenly, she receives a message that Jenny's aunt tried to send to warn her niece. The upset girl asks Nico to call her back and doesn't understand what's going on. Lou notices his buddy and Marco and takes a picture, thinking the guys are just drunk ahead of time. On the yacht, Nico notices the missed calls from Tilly and comes to see her. The guy lies that he doesn't know the man in the photo and asks the heroine not to worry about Aunt Jenny. When he leaves, Tilly calls Agent Cantrell, who has Agent Hunley's number on his answering machine. Nico returns to the yacht and takes the money. Marco asks the guy to finish what their father started and then just disappear. The man himself wants to stay on the yacht, realizing that everything is almost over for him. Marco tries to convince Nico that their fight is not just revenge against the Americans, but a righteous cause. The hero leaves his brother and returns to shore to fulfill his mission. Together with Tilly, he heads to the holiday, and the girl unsuccessfully tries to learn at least something about her aunt. Arriving at the beach, Nico chats with Lou, after which he decides to send the girl a message from Aunt Jenny's phone. Meanwhile, Tilly finds out that Nico was on a yacht yesterday, which is in the sea, and Lou even confirms it with a photo. The girl decides to swim to the yacht, and Nico follows her. On board, Tilly learns the truth and that Nico's car should contain fireworks that will destroy everything around. The upset girl realizes that in fact Nico has only brought her misery and pushes the hero into the water. Remorseful and remembering that he can't swim, Tilly jumps in after him, but it's too late. On Marco, she sees a watch with a timer and realizes that she has very little time to save a lot of people. After reaching the shore, Tilly desperately tries to warn everyone. However, Agent Hunley stops the girl. There is nothing in the car but bottles of champagne and ice. In fact, Nico decided not to follow his brother's horrible plan, but to destroy his lab. A frustrated Tilly cries, realizing that she had a hand in the death of a guy who actually turned out to be a hero. The girl's phone receives a message from her aunt asking her to look for something by the tree. Digging up the hole, Tilly finds their millions of dollars Bugatti, which Nico was supposed to use for other crimes. Along with the money, the girl finds her aunt's bracelet, as well as a recording. In it, Nico tells that he saved Agent Cartnell and purposely took the fireworks to another place. The guy realizes that he made a lot of mistakes and is ready to pay for them. Nico confesses his love to Tilly and asks her to forgive him for what happened to Jenny. He asks that the money be used for a good cause, since that's what his mom would have wanted. The credits at the end of the movie announce that Nico was never found. Jenny's clinic received a large donation, and a fund was set up for families whose husbands and sons have lost their lives in combat. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.